that I don't think all of us are going to be all that surprised about, as the $5,000 stimulus check that we've been hearing about for the last month and a half or so may have just been completely canceled. What I want to share with you exactly what was recently announced, the new information that we now have about this $5,000 stimulus, otherwise known as the Doge dividend, again, that we've had our hopes up for, hearing about for the last 5-6 weeks or so since it was originally introduced, and where we currently stand as of right now. Now, to be 100% fair with you, it was not going to be coming anytime soon anyway. As we've all talked about many times before in other videos, it's based on the savings out of Doge, right? Department of Government Efficiency, and we've covered all those details, but it's based on their savings. However, this was in the best case scenario, in the event that they were able to come forward and save $2 trillion of basically government spending. Well, we already know that that was going to be a very difficult feat for Doge to actually pull off in the first place, and that's what would have predicated the $5,000 distribution in the form of these one-off payments sometime in the middle portion of next year, right? 2026. However, we have some more information about this, and I want to bring you up to speed. Here's why. I get a lot of questions about this literally every single week, probably every single day even. I get handfuls of questions around this. People asking, when are we going to get it? How much is it going to be? Am I going to get it? You know, all these different details like this. So really good questions. Let's talk about the details of this. All right. So obviously at this point, I think we all recognize Elon is behind Doge, right? I think that's all public. I mean, that's very well known at this point. But here's the situation. So a while ago, remember, the goal was $2 trillion of savings. Then, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, something like that, he was out and basically said, well, even to think $1 trillion would be a really good accomplishment with Doge, and we'll have to see if that actually happens. So then they lowered it to $1 trillion. Well, now they're basically at about $150 billion is about where they're currently at right now with Doge savings. Now that calculates out to a little less than $1,000 per person according to their math on this. Now it's actually realistically more about $900 is where we're currently sitting. So we're significantly far off from the $5,000 that they've originally talked about. And again, if you're just jumping on right now on this live stream, first off, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. And again, just want to do what I can to answer the questions and keep you posted on any new information that keeps coming out right now. I know, super busy time right now, right? A lot of things are happening, but so that's, kind of the latest updates that we know. But here's the situation. Now we have this information coming out where Elon is suggesting we may just be saving about $150 billion a year, give or take a little bit, based on some projections and things like this. So that's going to be a far cry from even 100 or even $1 trillion that they need to get to. But remember, even at $2 trillion, again, that was going to be best case scenario. And as I've been saying for a long time now, highly doubt that that's even going to be the goal anyway. I highly doubt they're even going to get there. Even $1 trillion would be, a really good accomplishment of them if they can even pull that off in the next basically a little over a year now, basically like 14-ish months or so to pull that off. Okay, but anyway, that was going to be the distribution of $5,000, again, to roughly 79 million households as a 20% distribution. But even in the event that they just get to $1 trillion, right, $1 trillion of overall savings, then basically that would be $2,500. Again, obviously half of $2 trillion would be $1 trillion. And then we'd also have to shave that, the distribution down in half as well, okay? So anyway, for anybody out there that's been wondering about this, for anybody that wants the latest updates on this, this is about where we stand as of now, and kind of to see what happens here. Now, I've seen some interesting things out there, and again, just like everything, there's a ton of information, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of just people talking about all kinds of different random things, but there's been some speculation as well as even people saying, hey, they might even just close down, completely seize all operations with Doge. I don't know about that, but maybe. And if that were the case, then yeah, absolutely. The whole idea of this $5,000 or $2,500 or even significantly less than that would certainly kiss those ideas goodbye. In this realm, anyway, the Doge dividend, right? But here's the thing as well, right? So obviously here we are. We see all this tariff talk. We see all of this disruption within the economies and everything like that. Again, we could have the distribution of stimulus. Again, I'm not saying that we're going to. I'm just simply saying we could have the distribution of any type of stimulus just based on the economy, not have anything to do with savings out of Doge. So that's just kind of my point as well, is that all is not lost here. This is just in regards to Doge savings and the distribution back to us in the form of those Doge dividends as they've been talking about. So Anyway, quick little update on this. I wanted to just jump back and talk about this. Again, I get questions about this on a very regular basis. I'm sure there's comments down below in the comment section or in the chat right here, right now, which, by the way, in just a minute here, I will get into the chat and answer questions, whatever I can for you. But just want to give you a quick update on this, as I know a lot of people out there are wondering, hey, when are we going to get it? When are we going to see something, some type of financial support, something like that? I totally understand right there, right? I totally get it. Super weird time, rough times out there. And I've actually been reading about this as well over the last several days here, which apparently, and not really sure if you've seen this. I'd love to hear if you have seen this in the chat box if you'd like to share. But have you seen in your local area, apparently businesses are already raising prices on their goods and services, mostly goods, simply because of anticipation of tariffs coming in. They're trying to basically front run the tariffs, and they're raising prices already. So I'm kind of curious. I personally haven't seen it yet, but I also don't really go out and go shopping or anything like that. So I'm just kind of curious. Have you seen that in your local area? The prices are already rising with anticipation of these tariffs coming in. I'd love to hear from you if you are. And if so, what kind of products are you seeing this on? I would really like to hear that as well. I'm just kind of curious. Is it food items? Is it, like, what is it? I'm kind of curious. So anyway, I've been reading about that as well. So yeah, some interesting things going on. All right, so I'm going to jump into the chat here. We'll spend a little bit of time in the chat and just whatever I can do for you to answer all these questions. And again, I get these questions about this all the time. Just want to come back for you really quickly, discuss the details about this and kind of where we're at with this. Okay, so yeah, let's talk through the details. It's going to take me a minute, which, by the way, okay, it'll take me a minute to get into the chat here. Usually takes, this is the slowest part, so I apologize. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. I'll be in the chat very soon. Well, I mean, in a second here, hopefully. Okay, here we go. By the way, I just noticed my phone has 5% battery left, so the time here in the chat box may be cut very short, just because my battery is like very, very low. I didn't realize that until right now. So yeah, 5%. 5% is what I'm rolling with. So we'll try to buzz through the details super fast here. Okay. Is it Terry Williams? Terry Williams, you're saying, will people on SSDI get the check? This is a good question. I get this question literally all the time. In fact, just a few days ago, I think it was on Thursday or Friday of this past week, I made a dedicated video talking about that and literally answering that exact question. So as the plan is currently written, and again, I just want to really emphasize this. I said this in the video the other day as well. Really, really want to emphasize this. The current plan suggests somebody would need to be a net tax contributor to the federal government in the form of, net taxes paid in order to be eligible for this. So that's kind of like the parameter in the original plan. Okay, here's the thing. If the Doge dividend even happens in the first place, which apparently legislation is coming out on that, still haven't seen it yet. We probably heard that at least a month ago where they're like, hey, official legislation will be coming out on this. Haven't seen it yet, so we'll see what happens here. But when that comes in, again, I would not be shocked one bit if we see that changing as far as who would potentially be eligible for it. And again, they continue to say, oh, it's just the people that are net tax contributors. So I guess to answer your question, the technical answer would be, unless somebody is paying in at least something in the form of federal taxes, that's what would make them eligible, according to the original plan. I don't think the original plan sticks. I think it certainly gets amended significantly as it's worked its way through the process of being passed. Again, if they were to do that in the first place, just throwing that out there. But remember this much as well. The parameters around this $5,000 Doge dividend, and again, I want to really emphasize this in case you're just jumping on right now. No, it's not coming right now, okay? So I want to make that very, very clear so that nobody says, oh, you said it's coming. Nope, not coming right now. If it were to come in the first place, it would be next year sometime, like after July 4th of next year, 2026. That's a very long time from now. But they've got a lot of work to do on this, okay? But here's the thing as well. I just want to point out really fast here. The Doge dividend is an awesome idea. It's a really cool thing. However, broad stimulus in the event of a economic recession or economic contraction, that would be way more broad and reach way more people in that event because it's two different things. Even though they're both talking about stimulus, one would be basically to prop up the economy again or basically revitalize the economy in the event of a downturn. That's just broad stimulus out of basically the treasury, right? That's what they do during economic recession. So, by the way, did you do your homework from the other night? The other night I was in a live stream, and literally every single live stream that I do, I get questions about stimulus. Whether I'm talking about whatever it is, doesn't matter. I get questions about stimulus. Literally every single live stream. But the homework that I gave was look back at the last major recessions that we've had in 2000, 2008, 2009, and 2000 and 2001. Or sorry, I think I said 2020 is when we had that. So again, 2000, 2001, 2008, 2009, and 2020, 2021. Anyway, every recession is met by stimulus checks. Anyway, I gave that as homework for people to look up. So, yeah. But anyway, when it comes down to it, remember, the Doge dividend, certainly a cool idea, would be very, very helpful for a lot of people, but that would be completely separate because that would be a distribution of savings, basically a bounty or profit share, a dividend from Doge based on their savings and the work that they're doing, 20% back to us, whereas economic stimulus in the event of a recession or economic contraction is basically broad, going out to a huge percentage of the population to stimulate the economy rather than basically a payback, which is what the Doge dividend is. Does that kind of make sense? Right? So talking about kind of the same thing, but also very, very different parameters at the same time. Anyway, I hope that answers kind of the questions and clarifies a little more. Yeah, Cash Action Bets, I see you there as well. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Russell Harris, I see you there as well. Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you again. Yeah, Imaginator, I see you as well. Happy Sunday, good afternoon. All right, thank you for being here. Oops. KC, the tariffs are on hold for 90 days. Yep, exactly. Yep, 100%. That's true. Edward Pacific, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining us. Nice. Legend Nebula, I see you there as well. Checking in from Tennessee. That's awesome. Good afternoon and happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Josh, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining us. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but you're saying this is why you shouldn't talk about it every day. Yeah, definitely don't talk about it every day. I bring it up like maybe once or twice a week. I maybe bring like one video a week talking about it because I literally get the volume of comments coming in on this is a lot. And then in live streams, inevitably, the conversation always steers that way in live streams because I just get a lot of questions about it. So, yeah. Pastor Eric Bowers, hello. Nice to see you as well. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Flex, yeah. Flex not joining X. I like it, right? Flex, I see you there. Which, by the way, did you see the press release yesterday? I was shocked to see it, honestly. So, there's so much conflicting information coming out of Social Security right now. It is nuts. Like, who's behind the wheel here? You know what I mean? I'm just really wondering that right now. So we're getting a lot of conflicting information. They told us a couple days ago, I think it was on Thursday maybe, they made a post on X. They were quoting, I think Wired it was. Yeah, Wired basically quoted tagged Social Security. Social Security came back and quoted them and was like, this is false. We will continue to communicate through all methods or all mediums or whatever. And then yesterday we got a press release out of Social Security. So it's like, what is going on here, right? So anyway, yeah. Pastor Eric Bowers. Awesome. Thanks for the nice message. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Liz Jenkins. Thanks for being here as well. Appreciate you. Waving your hands. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Eula Brown. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it as well. Thank you. Thanks for joining us and glad you enjoy the videos. Thank you. From Georgia, Eula Brown from Georgia. That's awesome. Thank you. Kim Keeler from Michigan. Awesome. Kim Keeler from Michigan. That's very cool. Thanks for being here. Yep. Yep. Cash Action Bets, I see you there as well. Edward Pacific, I see you there as well. Thank you so much. Yep. Flex, I see you there again. Thank you. Yep. Russell Harris, there's no one behind the wheel. Kind of seems that way. Seriously, right? Wow. Gerald Holland, yeah, exactly. Gerald Holland, I see you there as well. North Carolina, awesome. Gerald Holland from North Carolina. Thank you so much for checking in. Nice to see you. Yeah, Flex, nice to see you as well. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, Jesse Ball saying the $5,000 stimulus canceled. Shocker. Yeah, kind of, right? Exactly. Here's the thing as well. We all recognize this. I said this, whatever, right after it was introduced, right after this whole idea came out. It was out there. I was like, just be prepared, please. Everybody, please be prepared about this. I said this probably a month and a half ago. You can go back and watch it in the videos if you want to hear me say it, but I'll say it again right now. I was saying this is best case scenario. It's going to be a stretch to get there. Best case scenario, we get maybe 5,000, right? There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of flaming hoops to jump through in order to get there. So could we still get something in regards to the Doge dividend, because of Doge savings? We could. It's not going to be 5,000. I'll tell you that much. It's not going to be anywhere near 5,000 based on the trajectory that they're at right now and where we're going with this. So we'll just see. But again, it's, it'd be out, after the second half of next year in the first place anyway, right? But that's just the Doge dividend. Now, again, I want to make it very clear. I'm not here to get anybody's hopes up, but anything like that. But I do want to say this much as well. Remember, the distribution of a Doge dividend would be completely separate from an economic stimulus, even though they're basically the exact same thing, money going out to the people, which is if we go into a major recession or economic contraction, the distribution of stimulus in that type of situation would be an economic stimulus, basically coming directly from the treasury, just basically saying, here, please take this money and stimulate the economy. Whereas the Doge dividend was literally a redistribution of money from Doge savings back to us, the citizens, is basically what that comes down to. So kind of, like I said, very, very similar, but also very different at the same time. Yep. Nice. Junior Martinez, nice to see you as always. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us, Junior. Nice to have you. Gabriel Sanchez, are we going to get a raise on SSDI? Not right now, okay? Not right now. I'll keep you posted on all that. A lot of things coming out right now, not at the exact moment yet, okay? Yet. Let me keep you posted on that. Is it Moon Day? Moon Day? I like it. Moon Day. By the way, I'm like obsessed with the moon. I love it. Full moon, I'm just like, it's like staring out the window at it, which, to be honest with you, like I can barely see it anymore. I can just see like a bright, like kind of blur out in the sky. I'm like, I think I see it. But anyway, I think many of you know this. I'm blind. I can see like very, very bright lights. So when it comes down to the moon, when it's a full moon, I can see just like a bright glow in the sky. That's all I can see. But anyway, love the full moon. Super cool. But anyway, Moon Day. I like it. Thanks so much for the nice message. Really appreciate that. Thanks for being here. And yeah, glad that you're enjoying the videos and getting value from them. That's awesome. Yeah, Pastor Eric Bauer. Awesome. Florida in the house. That's very cool. Awesome. Yeah. Pun's Fishbowl Head. I think that's the name. Pun's Fishbowl Head. You're asking about what do you know about the Freedom Transportation Act in California? I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. I don't know anything about it. Okay, nothing. I don't know anything about that. I always say that. If there's something I don't know anything about, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do. I don't know anything about that, okay? I apologize. I can certainly look that up and do some research for you, but I'm totally ignorant when it comes to that, okay, at the moment. So I apologize. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't know anything about that right now. Yep. Larry Stargell, I think it is. Larry Stargell, I think it is. From Virginia, Larry Stargell. I think that's how you pronounce your last name. I appreciate it. Thanks, Larry, for being here. Yeah, Virginia, that's awesome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Flex, you're very welcome. Flex, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, Anthony Rankins, is it? Anthony Rankins? Social Security is crazy. Kind of agreeing with you these days, right? It's feeling that way. It almost seems like they're in deeper than they can handle right now. It just seems like with the updates we've been getting, like who's really behind all this right now? Yeah, Cash Action Bets, I see you there again. Thanks for joining us. Jewel Johnson, awesome. Jewel Johnson, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. KY, Kentucky, thanks for being here. Yeah, Jewel Johnson, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, Jesse Ball, I see your comment there about the stimulus check and things like that. You said you were telling everybody it's a lie. It's not a lie. It's definitely not a lie. More like very optimistic in the case of, hey, if they hit these goals, then maybe we could see something again, if approved by Congress. A lot of moving parts about it. So no, definitely, I wouldn't say it's a lie, but more like a lot of moving parts. And again, they're certainly not going to hit that goal of $2 trillion. Maybe $1 trillion, but I think that might even be still significantly of a stretch. Yeah, Gerald Holland, hello from Tammy Holland from North Carolina. Awesome. Gerald and Tammy Holland, awesome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you from North Carolina. Yep. Yeah, Joseph Miller asking, are you talking about the $5,000 stimulus check or Doge dividend? Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Yep, exactly. So just kind of giving a little update on that. If you're just joining right now, by the way that I structure the live streams is the first, I don't know, 8, 10, 15 minutes or so of the live streams. I talk about the content, and then I get into the chat box, and we talk here in the chat for a while, answering any questions anybody has, and just going through all the details. So if you're just joining right now, let's do a little recap on this, which, by the way, oh, look at that. I still have 5% battery. I don't know how that happens. It seems like the battery power goes down super fast. Anyway, my phone only has 5% battery, but it had 5% when I got into the chat, so I don't know how that's happening, but pretty awesome. Okay, we'll hang out for a while here. Okay, so let's do a quick little recap. So remember, about, again, give or take a little while now, maybe a month and a half. Is it 2 months ago now? I don't remember exactly the date in which it was announced, but a month and a half-ish, 2 months, something like that ago, we got this introduction, the announcement of, this $5,000 Doge dividend based on the distribution of a 20% bounty or 20% profit share of Doge savings, right? So Doge has been out there grinding away, canceling contracts, doing all kinds of different things, saving all kinds of federal dollars, and the goal is ultimately $2 trillion. In the event of a $2 trillion savings from, federal spending, a 20% profit share of $2 trillion would be $400 billion. $400 billion distributed to 79 million households would be $5,000 in the form of a Doge dividend to 79 million households. Not individuals, households is how it was originally introduced in the plan. However, then we got some information. Well, actually, we got some information out of Elon, 3, 4, 5 months ago, give or take a little bit. We got the information out of Elon where he's like, probably not going to hit 2 trillion, but we'll probably get around 1 trillion, and that'd be an amazing feat for the Doge team. 1 trillion, so half of the $2 trillion goal, which would actually distribute the $5,000. Now we're getting more information. The Doge is at about, again, give or take a little bit here, based on some very optimistic numbers based on what we're seeing here. They're at about $150 billion of savings, which translates into a little less than 1,000, in fact, right around $900. $900 is what they're at right now of savings per individual. So that's about where they're at now, okay? However, going forward, based on the trajectory of this and based on some remarks out of different officials, Elon, Doge team, things like this, we may not get anywhere even near the $1 trillion savings in general that they've been going for. So that would mean that in this type of situation with the Doge, we're the $5,000 is going to be significantly less in the event they even do something like that, which is no shock. Again, I've said this for many months now, or since it was originally introduced. I said this $5,000 would only be in the event of the best case scenario if they were to actually save $2 trillion, right? So I've been saying for a while, just like seriously, don't get your hopes up. $5,000 would be the very, very, very best scenario. I would anticipate something significantly less than that. Okay. Anyway, that's just where we're at. And again, I want to come back on this quick little update here because I get a lot of questions about stimulus literally every single day in the chat box, on live streams, in the comment section, on videos. Daily, I get comments on stimulus. Yep. Yeah, James Guess, I see you there as well. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon. Yeah, Missy Wheeler is saying, I give up. They continue to let us down. Well, we knew I don't doubt you right there. I mean, I'm kind of right there with you, right? But here's the situation. We knew in this type of situation that this even wouldn't be distributed for at least another 16 months at the very earliest. We already knew that. So it'd be still a very long time in the event that they were to even do this in the first place, right? So just want to throw that out there. Tom Elliott, I see you there as well. Tom Elliott, thanks for joining us. Yeah, thanks for being here. Yeah, yep, Imaginator, I see you there as well. Exactly, talking about the $5,000. It was just, basically a concept. Certainly not it's definitely not a promise. Yeah, they definitely did not promise that. Yeah, Russell Harris saying we're definitely running toward a recession. Pretty much, yep, been talking about that a little bit lately too. Yeah, Decades of Music Time Machine. I see you there as well. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday and good afternoon. Edward J. Antonelli saying, check your phone. Check my phone. Okay, I'm looking. Oh, I still have 5% battery. Okay, we're good. We can keep going here for a little while. Oops. Lulana, I think it is. Sorry, I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. Lulana Makia, I think it is. You're kind of laughing and saying, did you expect it in the first place? Honestly, we thought it was going to be a little bit of a stretch. We kind of knew that, right? Been warning on that. But, it had the endorsement out of the president, things like that. So, I don't know. I mean, right? It could be a while. Flex is saying, do you know the inflation percentage as of today? On Thursday, a few days ago, Thursday of this past week, we got the inflation data out. It was 2.4%. 2.4% was the latest CPI, the Consumer Price Index, for the month of March. So that was just released this last Thursday, and it came in at 2.4. Yeah, that's what we know as of now. Yeah, Robert Alkayi. Robert, I see you there. Sorry, not sure how to pronounce your last name. Yeah, Heather Miller. You're very welcome. Thanks, Heather. Really appreciate it as well. Hope you're doing well, and happy Sunday. Good afternoon. Thanks, Heather. Really appreciate you. Yeah, Fanny Buster is saying the Doge savings would be used to pay down national debt. Yep, exactly. About 80% of it would be used to pay down national debt. And he did suggest that they're floating this idea of the 20%, profit share, dividend, bounty, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, right? And again, by the way, just want to make it very clear, I'm not trying to act like this is breaking news. It's definitely not. We've talked about this many times over the last, month and a half, 2 months or so since it was originally introduced. So, no, this is definitely not new information, giving some new updates on where we're currently sitting with this and talking about that. But as far as everything else here, no, it's definitely not new information. Yeah, Pastor Eric Bauer. Yeah, you're talking about your eyesight. That's really rough. Yeah, tough situation. Yeah, yeah, man. Vision. It's a really tough thing, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it, Eric Bauer. Ah, Gamilio Santano. Gamilio Santano. So nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here, Gamilio. Hope you're having a nice Sunday. Road Dog. Road Dog is here. Road Dog. Thanks for being here, Road Dog. I really appreciate it. Happy Sunday. Nice. Jordan Barrett. Jordan Barrett, I see you there as well. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here, Jordan. Really appreciate you as well. Thank you. Yeah, Karen Tassie. I see you there, Karen Tassie. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Happy Sunday. Sorry, I had to remember what day it is for a second. Happy Sunday, Karen. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining us again. Yeah, really appreciate that. Russell Harris, it's going well. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, really appreciate it, Russell. It's good. Thank you. Yeah, really appreciate it. Yeah, Lisa Johnson. Lisa Johnson, good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here as well, Lisa Johnson. Appreciate you. Nice. Flex, you're awesome. Thanks, Flex. I really appreciate that as well. Give me Leo Santano. Thank you so much once again. Yes, thank you so much. Michael Jackson checking in. Michael Jackson, hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here, Michael. Jody Lore. Jody Lore. Yep, exactly. Everything's crazy right now. 100% agree. Yeah, definitely super crazy. Yeah, Timothy Hester, I think it is. Timothy Hester, I see you there as well. Yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Happy Sunday. Good afternoon. Yeah, Jordan Barrett, I see you there as well. Gamilio Santana, I see you there as well. Thank you so much for watching, both of you. Hmm. Tamara, I'm trying to figure out how to say your last name. Pantoja, something like that. Sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry about the last name. Sorry, I'm just like really bad at saying last names and honestly first names too. I'm sorry about that. But yeah. Tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And again, so sorry about not being able to pronounce your last name. I'm not sure how to say that, but thank you so much for being here tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, Russell Harris, exactly. Yeah, Jordan. Yep. Yeah, Karen Tassie. Karen Tassie from Tennessee. Yeah, Karen Tassie from Tennessee. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tina Tobar. Is it Tina Tobar? I see you there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Exactly. Yeah, Derek Farron, I see you there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Yep, Gamilio Santano, I see a bunch of messages there from you as well. Thank you so much as well. Really appreciate that. Here, Russell Harris, exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Jordan is saying, I think the president should sign an executive order to raise SSDI and SSI. As nice as that would be, as cool as that would be, unfortunately, he can't do that. He cannot do that. It must be an act of Congress in order to raise these benefits. Yeah. So unfortunately, he can't. Even if he wanted to, he can't. Yeah, he cannot do that. He cannot change Social Security in that manner through executive order. Yeah, so it'd be super cool. Don't get me wrong. It'd be really, really nice, but not an option, unfortunately. Nice. Yeah, Linda Profinger, exactly. I see you there as well. Linda, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate you. Happy Sunday. Good afternoon. Exactly. Imaginator talking about everybody getting a $500 per month raise. Exactly. Which my plan, I love it. I show this every so often. The SSA Savings Supplement. We presented this plan probably a month ago. I would say give or take a little bit. There's a video from, I don't know, probably a month ago now where we presented this. Again, I spent about 2 days writing this letter. I didn't sit there for 16 hours or 20 hours, and be fair with you, but I did have it pulled up on the computer. I was typing, I was hacking away at it, come back and edit some of it, come back and forth, back and forth. I spent about 2 days going back and forth editing and coming up with different concepts, running numbers, playing with my calculator nonstop, doing research, looking up different statistics about Social Security. And ultimately, it came up with this, the SSA Savings Supplement, which I still think is an awesome plan. It's basically just taking about $102 billion of Doge savings, which they've already done, and distributing it back to the people in the form of a $300 per month raise, a $200 per month raise, or a $100 per month raise based on somebody's benefit amount. And yeah, it's all focused on the lowest income beneficiaries. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty awesome plan. The SSA Savings Supplement. I have the video from about, again, maybe a month ago, or give or take a little bit here on the channel. If you want to scroll back and find it, well, first off, you can. It might be kind of hard to find, honestly. But in the title, it says something like $300 monthly raise, SSA Savings Supplement. Pretty cool stuff. My wife, Corey, comes in. She reads it to you. And yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, decades of music time machine. Exactly. I see you there. Yeah, that's probably pretty true. Thank you. Yeah, Edward J. Antonelli. Exactly. I see you there as well. I appreciate it. Yep. Thank you, Edward. Yeah, James Bonds. James Bonds, I see you there as well. Yeah, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Camilio Santano, again, I see all your messages there. Thank you for all the nice words. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Camilio. Let's see. Ooh, 4% battery power. Okay, we're going down, but still a little bit left here. Yeah, Cindy Trout, I see you there as well. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you reaching out. Thanks for being here, Cindy. Yeah, Flex. Flex is saying you always write letters to politicians and they never write back, or they never respond. True, they don't. But here's what's super interesting. There's been a number of letters that we've written, which, by the way, by now, over the last, 5 years or whatever, we've probably written 15, 20 letters or so, around there, give or take a little bit. I'm not even sure how many it is at this point. But here's what's super interesting. We've written letters before, and then we send the letter, and then like 3 months later, they introduce a bill that's literally like basically focusing on exactly what we've called on. So it's like, are they getting them and reading them? I don't know. Is it just a coincidence? I don't know. But we've had some interesting phenomenon happen where like we literally write a letter, send it out, and then like a few months later, they're like, hey, we've got this great idea and we're going to introduce this legislation. So I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. All it takes is one. All it takes is one, right? It's literally a numbers game. That's all everything is. It's a numbers game. All you got to do is just get one lawmaker to jump on board, one lawmaker to be like, hey, everybody, I got this idea, right? They're always going to claim it as their own. They're never going to give credit where credit is due. They're always going to say it's their idea, right? It's always a good idea if it's their idea. If it's a bad idea, it's always going to be somebody else's fault, right? Politics, we know how that works, right? So anyway, I don't really care. I don't want credit for it. I don't really care about that. Just do something. That's all I care about. I care about action. I couldn't care less about credibility, or I shouldn't say credibility. I care about credibility. Yes, I do care about that. I meant to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Credit, same, very similar to credibility. Anyway, I care about credibility. I don't care about getting credit for something like that. I just want them to do something. That's all I care about. I care about action. Couldn't care less about, accolades and awards and stuff like that. In fact, I don't want that. I'm super weird when it comes down to recognition. Like, I don't want any praise for anything. There's probably something wrong with me. Seriously, I do not like that at all. Like, if somebody's like, oh, you did a great job, I'm like, no, like, please don't say that. I don't like it, right? And I mean, it's just, I'm super weird when it comes to that kind of stuff. I just feel like there's always better, right? There's always improvements I could make. So anyway, I'm just looking for action. That's what I want. Results is what gets me excited. Awards, trophies, accolades, stuff like that. Honestly, couldn't care less. That's just me. Is it RP 915? I think it is. Yeah, I see you there. Oh, George Carlin. Oh man. George Carlin, he's funny. He's funny right there. Yeah, I watched a lot of George Carlin when I was younger. I don't think my parents would have liked that. I don't know if they even knew, but yeah, super funny stuff. If Corey's watching this, Corey and I, when we first met, a couple of things that we did is we'd be like, let's watch something. We're like, let's watch some George Carlin. She never knew who he was at the time. Oh man, it's super funny. Yeah. Very dirty at the same time, but like super funny stuff, right? I thought it was funny anyway. Yeah, Russell Harris talking about that as well. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, we should whip out some of those videos. That's funny stuff. Yeah, Hazel Green. Hazel Green, nice to see you. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Hazel Green. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. Denny Kidd saying, I'm on SSI. Will I be eligible for Doge? Really good question. Denny Kidd, yeah, really good question. So here's the situation. According to how the original plan is written, which by the way, I really want to say this much as well. I've said this a few times, which is, this is the original plan. I fully anticipate if this thing even happens in the first place, the original plan is going to be amended massively. I do not foresee the original plan on this thing actually being brought into fruition, but rather they're probably just going to use that as a rough outline. They're probably going to take a few provisions out of the original plan, but I would say the plan is probably going to change in a huge way in the event it even happens in the first place. But yeah, okay. So anyway, Denny Kidd, good question. SSI, would you be eligible? So how the plan is originally written is somebody would need to be a net federal tax contributor in order to be eligible for that. Now, what does that mean? Net federal tax contributor. What that basically says is that somebody would need to pay federal taxes in order to be eligible for this. Okay, so that's just what it comes down to. Now, I'm going to be fair with you. Do SSI beneficiaries generally pay federal taxes? The answer is, in general, no. Okay. But again, I would not get discouraged whatsoever about that simply because I fully expect in the event that this thing even happens, the plan would change in a huge way. And I think that they would lower the dollar amount and broaden it out to reach more people. That would be my anticipation. Remember, first time around, any legislation in its original state pretty much never passes in its original state. It always gets a ton of amendments, and it goes through the process of, the markup phase and the phase where they go through and they amend it over and over. That's kind of the phase that we'd be going through. So just don't let that discourage you. Let's just kind of wait and see what happens. James McKenzie, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us, James McKenzie. Thanks for being here. Penelope Wood, yeah, not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about just in general everything, okay, if that's your perspective on the situation and your outlook on the world, that's okay. Totally fine. You can think whatever you want, but literally just translate information. Yep. Chris O'Brien, yeah, you're very welcome. Chris O'Brien, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you as well. You're very welcome. Yeah, and Chris O'Brien saying, thank you for the videos. I think that's what you said. Yeah, thanks for what you doing. Thanks for what you do and for being so honest. Okay, I didn't want to misquote you, by the way. Yeah, Chris O'Brien. Yeah, you're very welcome. So like I like to say in the videos, I'm always going to bring you honest, accurate, reliable, transparent information every single day in these videos. And sometimes if I need to come back and unfortunately give bad news or be like, hey, here's what's being introduced, but this or that would make somebody not eligible, that may be unfortunate, but I'm going to give it to you straight, okay? I was looking around on YouTube a lot today. I can't tell you how many really bad titles I saw from other channels out there making it sound like right now we're getting stimulus. We're not. Okay, I want to point this out really quickly as well. In fact, what is today? Sunday? What was it? Friday. I think it was out on Friday. It was either Thursday or Friday. I was out in a separate live stream, okay? And this was just moments after. It was like, no, I shouldn't say moments, okay? It was, I don't know, hours after, or maybe the next day after, the House basically approved the blueprint for this massive reconciliation bill, right? You heard about this. It was last week. I didn't talk about it on purpose because honestly, it's just like a procedural vote. It was basically just like a vote coming in saying, sure, we vote to continue moving forward. Who cares? It's not like an official vote at all. It's literally just a practice vote to say, sure, let's open up the floodgates on reconciliation. Sure, we can keep moving forward. Not a big deal. I don't know. I didn't think it was a big deal, right? Nothing worth making a video about anyway. That's what I thought. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen out there as I was just scrolling around on the tube today, looking at different things. I like to see what's out there, right? And I can't tell you how many titles I saw saying, approved, coming now, passed, signed. Okay, what is coming soon? What is arriving now? What has been signed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, right? So I don't know. I don't love that, but that's just me. I don't know. That's just how I like to do it, right? So as of right now, no, the reconciliation bill does not contain anything like that. But depends on where you look. It certainly makes it sound like there's some, big stuff happening. Don't get me wrong. There's some really big stuff happening, but not when it comes down to, stimulus coming out right now, anything like that. Okay, anyway. 3% battery power. So anyway, just 3% on battery on my phone. So I only have, it's lasting longer than I thought it would. Yeah, Jordan Barrett. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for the nice message. Appreciate that, Jordan. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Russell Harris. I know, right? Russell Harris. I will. We're not going to be here a ton longer on this. Yeah, when I came into the live stream, I had 6%. So I don't know how we're only down to 3%. It feels like when I'm just using my phone all the time, it's like it's knocking off battery power left and right. So I don't know what's going on. Lemon Kitchen, is that what it is? Lemon Kitchen. You're saying, hey man, awesome stream. That's awesome. Lemon Kitchen, thank you so much for being here. I like your name. That's great, right? So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Happy Sunday. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. Lemon Kitchen. Really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Flex. Really good question. Is SSI federally funded? And you were mentioning something about SSDI. Do they come from the same pool? No, they don't. They do not, okay? Here's what's interesting. Social Security retirement, survivors, and spousal come from one pool of benefits, the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund. Disability benefits, as in SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance benefits, come from the Disability Trust Fund. And SSI benefits come from general federal funds. So these three benefits, or there's actually more than three benefit types there, but there's three different pools of money that they come from. And so they come from three very different pools of money. Okay, so SSI benefits come from just general federal dollars, right? They don't come from the trust funds at all. SSI comes from just general federal tax dollars. That's it, just the federal government, tax dollars, general federal funds. That's where SSI comes from. SSDI strictly comes from the Disability Trust Fund within Social Security. Yep. And then all other Social Security benefits, again, well, I shouldn't say all other, but retirement, survivors, spousal benefits come from the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund. Yeah, that's what it is. Good question, Flex. Cash Action Bet, saying you're working on a shoe line and... nutrition drink. Yeah, a shoe line and nutrition drink. Interesting. That'd be interesting. I'd be interested in trying that out. Yeah. Anyway, let us know how it's going. Seriously. Yeah. James Lara, that's awesome. Won $2 on the lottery this month. That's super cool, right? Hopefully only paid $1 for the ticket. You got 100% return on your money, right? That's very cool. Awesome, James. Yeah, James Lara, you're very welcome. Thanks, James. Really appreciate it. That's a very nice message of you. Thank you, James Lara, for being here. Yeah, John Litton, all is good. Thanks for being here, John Litton. Really appreciate you. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here, John. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Russell Harris said you won the lottery earlier. I think you said this month. That's crazy. That's awesome. Hopefully it was a big payout. Just looking through some comments here, a lot of just back and forth here. Just trying to look for more questions. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. Just a bunch of comments rolling in. Just a lot of interesting things in the chat. Okay, let's leave it at that. My battery power on my phone is very low anyway. But yeah, hopefully this answered it. Again, if you're just jumping on right now, just scroll back and watch the first like 5 minutes of this live stream. Honestly, that's all you need to watch on it. I discussed all the details there. Just want to clarify some different things that are going on right now, kind of where we stand with all this. It's going to be another crazy week upon us. And again, I'll keep you posted on all of this. So anyway, hope this helps you. Again, thanks so much for watching. Happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay tuned. We've got some big things coming up this week. I will keep you posted on all of it. Again, thanks for joining. Again, if you're new here, if you've not done so, please subscribe if you want to. Subscribe button should be down around the bottom somewhere. Otherwise, just enjoy, and I hope I can see you again later in the next one. All right, let's wrap this up. Okay. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yep. Cancel. All right, have a nice evening. I'll catch you again later.